Hey, welcome back. This is the Real Teacher Talk podcast with Mr. Nunez. I got another special guest. Um, this gentleman here is visiting from Harvard. His name is Sebastian Marroquin. I want to thank you again, Sebastian, for taking the time out from coming out from Harvard. I know you're here visiting your family and stuff like that, but I hear you have an interesting story. Uh, your name was brought to my attention by a student named Sherilyn, and she's been, I guess your biggest cheerleader, right? And I just had to hear it from your own voice as far as your story goes. So this podcast is mostly about education for teachers and students to listen and possibly learn something that they could take with them and improve their experience when as education goes, right? So go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're at right now.
So my name is Sebastian Marroquin. I go to Harvard. I'm a class of 2025.
Yo, see that?
Yeah.
Class of 2025 Harvard right here. So how'd you get into Harvard?
How did I get in? I don't know. But I mean,
You mean you don't know? There's gotta be a secret. What's the
I
formula?
mean, I don't know. Honestly, grades play a part, but they care a lot about your personality. They don't just want whatever kid. You could be smart, but they want someone who's smart but humble, curious to learn, wanting to grow. And that's the community they try to build. So they focus beyond grades. They focus a lot on a holistic review. So who you are, where you come from,
So you
tell me your
must have wrote a
story.
hell of an essay, huh?
I wrote 2 essays, yeah.
2 essays to get into Harvard.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all right. So obviously your grades played a big part. And can I ask you what kind of classes you took in high school?
Senior year, I took 5 or 6 APs. And then pretty much my high school ran out of classes to give me. I took
Every class possible.
every class possible. Freshman year, I was started in advanced classes already.
Already.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And
Did they run out of class? Like they ran out
They-
of math for you. They didn't have any more math classes. Right? Or-
not necessarily math, but like Spanish, English,
see.
so math too. That was at the highest.
Right.
And well, pretty much everything else on my. I read my file for Harvard, and it said that my school couldn't. My school said they couldn't provide a challenge for me anymore. They ran out of stuff for me.
Look at that. All right. So you were in a special situation as far as your education, right? So let me take it back to elementary and then maybe middle school. So what was that experience like? So what school did you go to in elementary?
Elementary school, I went to Vernon City Elementary.
Okay, so
yeah.
that's in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
Right? Other
And
side of the tracks.
Yep, city of Vernon.
Vernon and what is that?
Santa Ana or something like
Santa
that. It has an S in it. Santa Fe, I think.
Santa Fe.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, Vernon.
Yeah.
And then middle school,
I went to Animo Jefferson Charter.
Animal Jefferson. Okay, I've heard
Yeah.
that one. Okay. All right. So let me ask you. We've already had a little bit of this conversation. So the community where you lived and went to school with, what was that like?
So I'm from South Central. So I grew up in
South
the.
Central.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So
And
how did that experience impact you?
I mean, I grew up in the hood since I was little. The only thing around me that I've known is hood
Hood.
culture, and like some of my closest friends are involved in hood and stuff like that. And I was influenced a lot by a culture growing up.
Wow, but see, it did it. I'm talking to you, and I don't see it. I didn't see it. I don't see it that it rubbed off on you to a degree. Like usually you could tell. Like matter of fact, people can see. People talk to me, and they can see that it rubbed off a little bit. To some degree, maybe the way I express myself or whatever. But maybe you're still young. That's why. But anyway, tell us a little bit about why you didn't want that life or
So for me, when I was 6, that's the first time I saw someone get killed in front of me. And growing up, that's all I've experienced. At 13, I saw a friend of mine get shot right in front of me.
oh, man.
And that's when I knew, like, I'm trying to get out of this cycle.
Right.
And it's something almost impossible for a lot of people, because that's all you know. That's all you grow up for. To get out, I'm sure you know, it's either sell drugs and pay your way out, go live in a better area,
Join a gang,
and get killed, or work at a pretty trash job.
or
or education.
Oh wait, you got the other one, jail.
Oh,
So
jail is always for the first three. That's jail and death are always an outcome of the first three.
Right. And then of course, a job that's not going to get you anywhere. That's
Yeah.
a tough one, because people just, I guess, might have a tough time, picking up a necessary skill or something like that, right? Whether it's a trade or something. I mean, which by the way, it's I honestly think some of those trades are very well paid. I just wish they offered a little bit more information on that. But as far as college though, I'm assuming someone, elementary, middle school, and even high school, saw your potential, right? So as a teacher, I kind of look for those qualities in certain students and go, wow, okay, here we go. This is a kid that we need to keep pushing and making sure that they have everything in order to get where you're at, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, teacher, is there any particular teacher that you remember from your early years in education?
Oh yeah, in elementary there was two teachers who like always believed in me. Their names were Miss Conan, Miss Moran. They those were the two. In elementary school, a lot of people didn't really see me as much because I my writing is horrible. They call it chicken scratch. Yeah.
For all you elementary school teachers, look at that. You got a student that writes chicken scratch,
Yeah.
and he's at Harvard right now. All right.
So like growing up, they couldn't understand my writing, so they could never see at what level I'm at.
Oh.
So they always thought I was one of the lowest. I was always the lowest. Yeah, and it wasn't until when I was in their grades, they saw something in me, the way I expressed myself, the way I thought about things, and they believed in me. And it wasn't until fifth grade where it really blew up, where there was a writing contest, and instead of me writing it out by hand, I typed it out, and they won me third place.
Third place. Let me ask you, what's your typing? Do you type fluently? Or?
Yeah, I could touch type, and
There you go. So that's another skill that I wish most students would pick up, because that's going to help, right? That's a skill you need to go, in any job, but primarily in college, you need to know how to type. There's a lot of writing going on, right?
No, yeah, you don't do much handwriting anymore. It's all typing.
It's all typing.
Yeah, but you can't really have that skill without practicing.
Right.
So, I think a lot of people just don't want to put the time to practice.
Yeah, I know. We used to teach it in high school. They used to give out typing classes and stuff like that, but they cut that out. You see, they used to even teach handwriting, in middle school, in elementary, and they cut that out too. So that's unfortunate. So let me ask you, can I ask you where your parents are from and how they influenced you as well?
So my dad is from Oaxaca, Mexico, and then my mom's from Guerrero.
Nice.
So both of them Mexican immigrants. So both of them equally poor, dirt poor. My dad, he's told me stories that sometimes a lot of times he wouldn't eat at night. And then my mom, and he didn't go to school at all. He doesn't know how to read or write. So the only thing he does know how to do is simple math, and he's self-taught. And then my mom, she dropped out, I think, after 8th grade, the equivalent to 8th grade in Mexico, because she had they couldn't afford it anymore at that point.
That's a sad, unfortunate experience for a lot of our immigrant parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pass it on to teachers. They pass on that responsibility to teachers to hopefully, bring the best out of their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I think in your case, those two teachers probably saw something, and they just knew, they could tell.
Those were the early teachers, yeah. And then it wasn't until high school where, again, two teachers saw and then tried to challenge me, try to push me further.
Right.
Yeah, and I credit a lot to my success in high school to them, because they really try to force me.
So your parents, when it came to all that work that I guess you were putting in, I just picture they just let you do your thing, right? I mean, they must have seen how much effort and work you were putting into, your education, right? Or they just kept saying, échale ganas, tú estudia. Was that the kind of motivation that they gave you?
So the motivation they gave me, my dad, since again an early age, was, all right, you either work or you study. Nice. You're gonna work with me. If you don't want to study, all right, you're gonna go work with me. If you don't, okay, you could study, but give me the highest grades possible. Okay, that's always been my motivation.
All right.
So, yes, from
mine was, estudias, trabajas y si caes en la cárcel, ahí te quedas.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Is that the other one?
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
because they were always afraid. My mom was always afraid that, you get caught up in some stuff, and it's
Mhm.
like if you ever, you're gonna stay there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right, so gotta go to school, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So those, I guess, those are motivating factors and stuff. But then there's also there's got to be this internal motivation too to learn and like, what? Well, first of all, what is it that you're studying in Harvard?
Doing concentrated in economics.
In economics.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I might do a secondary in applied math.
Applied math. All
Yeah.
right, man. It sounds like you're gonna be a professor or something, right?
No, I'm trying to get into investment banking where all the money is at.
Ooh, here we go. All right, and then you can come back and
Yeah.
make a big donation to our program. No, I'm just
Maybe
kidding.
to my high school. Maybe to my high school.
Okay, your high school first. Give it to them. Give it to them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, do this. Bless them with a program like this, right? With I don't know if you have maybe tech or audio visual at your high school and stuff, but
Ooh, yeah.
that's a great way to get back. Yeah.
No, yeah, our high school, we hardly had any clubs.
Yeah, I know, because most charters, they're very limited in space. You
Mhm.
know, public schools like our school here, we
No, yeah.
we get a little bit of, how should I say, we get spoiled in this case.
No, yeah. I mean, my high school was the size of this building, and
Probably,
that's
yeah.
that was
Two stories,
two,
3 stories?
3 stories. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
ate on the roof, and
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Well, at least you had a nice view.
Oh yeah, it was a cool view. It was a sick
Ate
view.
on the roof.
Yeah, on the roof.
Oh man, can you picture us eating on the roof? No, here at our school, I doubt they're gonna let us eat at our roof.
Yeah.
On the roof here. So anyway, so your first year's done. How hard was it to actually start Harvard? What was your biggest challenge there? Right?
Oh, it's a huge jump from high school to a place like Harvard.
Okay.
It was incredibly difficult to adapt, and I'm still adapting. It's still a challenge to me.
Okay.
Simply because but like we said, my high school wasn't the best. It was in a poor area, whatnot. But beyond that, the resources we have is very limited. So the quality of education the students get is very, very, very much more limited compared to a bigger school.
Right.
So for me, I said I finished everything possible in my high school,
Right.
but that was not enough to prepare me to make a jump like Harvard.
Right.
I may have been the top at my high school, but
Right.
honestly, at Harvard, I'm like the 2 lowest students.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge jump, and like the skills necessary to prepare you, I don't think you could find in any other high school but elite private high schools.
Ooh, that's a big statement right there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't finish, right?
Oh no, definitely. I'm gonna finish.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Harvard has provided so much support to
That's what I
students
was
like
gonna
me.
ask you. Is there, so specifically coming from immigrant parents, does Harvard have? I mean, it's an Ivy League school. I mean, I don't have any. You're probably the second student that I know that has been to Harvard. But we don't know what that experience is like. You're on the other side of the country.
Mhm.
Do they offer immigrant, or is there someone there that you can connect with that's from like your same background?
Oh,
Have you
there's
met some?
there's
like that?
a lot of
Professors?
resources. Professors, yes,
Really?
I've met professors similar backgrounds.
Really?
And there's a ton of support at Harvard. Like, for example, for students like myself, they give you $2,000, so you could buy whatever you need to move across the country. Your plane ticket, any necessities that you need while at Harvard,
Okay.
and then on top of that, they give you $190 to buy a winter coat to help you adapt as much as possible. And
And I'm sorry. Why do you need a $190 winter coat?
exactly,
Why?
winter coat and boots.
But why?
Oh, it's 10 degrees in
I'm
Boston.
sorry, but we don't even know what that is. But
No,
here
yeah.
in California, we're like,
Here right now it's hot, and it's what, like 66. Over there it was like 10 degrees. It's
We're
freezing.
right?
No,
10
yeah.
degrees. Yeah, that's dangerously cold, right? You
Oh, it
walk
gets
out in a
frigid,
little
yeah.
sweater, you're gonna end up in the hospital or something, right?
No, yeah, you're
Frostbite or-
gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that dangerous. I can't.
I mean,
even picture it.
it's well past freezing.
Yeah.
so-
Oh, it's below. I thought you said 10 degrees.
Well,
It's 10 degrees below.
freezing point is 36 degrees. So
Oh,
below
okay,
that is
below that
it's freezing.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Celsius now. All right. So yeah, little things like that you have to adjust to, right? The food. What about the food?
Oh, the food is terrible. We're so used to like having a little salsa, a little spice in there.
Oh, and mom's
And
home cooked food.
I mean, I don't really like my mom's cooking,
Oh,
but
damn,
like
you gonna put that on the video? Really?
I love my mother, but I don't love her cooking. Well, let me correct myself.
Señora, yo no apruebo de ese comentario, okay?
Let me correct myself. When my mom wants to cook, she'll cook really really good.
Okay,
But when she doesn't, then it's like, oh, okay,
gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so okay, we'll leave it at that. You know your mom better than me. But
Yeah, I love my mother.
it's Women's History Month. We gotta back up all moms, all right?
Yeah, I love my mother. She's
awesome.
she's
We have a good relationship.
no, yeah, her and my dad both disciplined me very well. Like, my dad focused a lot on like discipline itself, and my
Okay.
mom focused a lot on trying to make me an understanding person, kind person, and
Gotcha.
trying to instill humility in me.
Hey, there you go, man. That's gonna take you so far, especially nowadays where you need all kinds of skills.
Mhm.
Not just a heavy degree like Harvard, right? But a lot of other skills that I think a lot of our students, really need to start focusing on or improving on, right?
Yeah, I
in order to
mean,
get to that next level, in order to function in what is it, contribute to society and whatnot.
talking about that, something I think is very important for people to learn, and it's something recently I studied at Harvard
What's
was
that?
usually students that come from lower privileged areas have a harder time reaching out for help.
Oh, yeah.
So simply asking for help is a skill that needs to be developed immediately in high school.
People do that sometimes. I kind of think I could take it on my own, or
Yeah.
and sometimes don't ask for help. But they are taught to do that, right? They're taught to go ahead and right to ask for help.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot the name of the exact article, but basically what was found was students from elite high schools, they have a tendency to be more social to people around them. They have an easier
Yeah.
time to talk. Well, think about it this way: they're already at the top of the table, so it's easier for them to talk to people below the table.
Oh yeah.
But when you're at the bottom of the table, it's hard to talk to people above you. Because of this, not necessarily this superiority complex, right?
Right.
So just learning how to ask for help and learn how to talk to people,
I think
it's
it's
something.
just a matter of experiencing as much as you can, and just gaining that confidence to go ahead and ask for help, right?
Right.
And just jumping in there with both feet, saying, "Hey, what do you got to lose?" Right?
But even then, that's something that has to be learned. It's difficult for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I really appreciate you coming through, and hopefully we could do this like on a larger scale. Meaning, we want to give students a chance. Maybe we could do a little Zoom where we could bring students like yourselves, career professionals, to talk to our high school students. It'll probably be virtually.
Mhm.
Do a little Q&A, because again, you're one of our local heroes, right? I mean, I don't know how many kids from the hood are in Harvard right now. Have you met any?
No, I haven't
South
met nobody
Central?
from South Central.
No,
Nobody from South. I've met people from LA, but none of them from South
Oh, yeah,
Central.
where'd you grow up? Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you say you're from LA, people see you with open eyes. And once you say, "Oh no, I'm from the hood," they're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
Okay, see you next class.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny, man. All right, man. So again, we're gonna go ahead and cut it right here. Appreciate you coming through. Some
For
fast
sure.
You're an inspiration for sure, man. Okay. And one
Yeah,
thing I want to
thank
thank
you.
Charlene and Angel for putting this together. It's gonna be an awesome podcast for our teachers and students. Okay.
Right.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for you guys. All right. And we're out. I mean, we can go on for hours.